We're joined by Brian Hamilton, CEO of Sageworks, a financial analysis firm for privately held companies. Thanks so much for being with us.
Hey, it's great to be here, Michael.
Look, adding jobs is always good. Changing the figure is always good.
Right.
But I'm using the word good. Would you say these numbers today are good, great, or meh?
I would say they're better than below average, better than average, maybe slightly above what we expected, but certainly not great,
What, if anything, is this jobs bill, if any of the president's plan gets through, or any plan presented by the GOP side, how, if any of this stuff goes through, how quickly is that expected to could we see any kind of effect?
Yeah, and let me step back from that a little bit, and I don't want to diverge too much from your question, which is a good one.
Yeah.
The first one is there's a sort of a supposition that the government can do something to affect this job rate or unemployment rate. We don't know that for sure. My contention or our contention is that they can do things that can disrupt hiring, but we don't know if proactive measures can actually improve the unemployment rate. Now, that said, with the new jobs bill and with the Republican counter to it, I do like the direction of policy, because the direction of policy right now, Michael, is around lowering costs to the people or businesses that are hiring people. So whenever you can lower costs, in this case payroll costs, then people are usually apt to hire more people. If you look at the policies over the last 2 to 3 years, they've been a little bit disorienting. They haven't really been focused on what's most important to the 27 million people who run companies, and that's getting costs lower, particularly when sales are going lower. For example, 2 years ago, for the first time in a long time, private company revenue was down about 4% during 2010. Now, that might not sound like a lot, but that has a cascading and massive effect on profitability. So if the government can come in with policies that will reduce costs, then I suspect that will definitely help the hiring scene.
And we're talking with Brian Hamilton, who is CEO of Sageworks, that's a financial analysis firm for privately held companies. And I'm not playing politics here. I'd ask you no matter who's president, but I want to get your opinion. Can a president do that much, or does he need Congress? Can Congress do that much, or do they need the president? Do they have to work together? Or at the end of the day, as far as you're concerned, they don't play that enough of a factor? It's the conditions that the economy is in, and whether or not we're going to have jobs or not.
Well, let me start by avoiding your question. It's kind of funny.
Were you running for president? Is that what this is?
Yeah, that's right. No. I'm a private sector guy. But on a serious note, I'll avoid it a little bit, and then I'll go right into your question. We know that probably more than at any time in our generation, the politicians are not playing nicely in the sandbox together.
Right.
So, in specific answer to your question, we would love it if the president and the Congress could get together and do what's right for America. Now, they all claim to do that, but if you really look at what's going on, there's been incredible divisiveness. Now, we do not know, no one knows, why these 27 million people who run privately held companies are not hiring people. But it certainly doesn't help that the politicians are not getting along. And, that has changed over the last 40 or 50 years. It has become much more divisive. And if politics or if public policy can drive employment and drive GDP, we want these folks playing a little bit more nicely with each other than they are right now, because, it is really divisive.
Brian Hamilton, CEO of Sageworks, thanks so much for being with us. We appreciate it.
Hey, my pleasure, Michael.